Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Psycho Gold and this is Psycho Gold Videos. Today has been a busy day for the channel. This will be my third upload. Though it might be tomorrow morning by the time it actually goes live, looking at the time. But it will be my third episode as far as I'm concerned for the day, and it will be my last. There will be an episode tomorrow, but there's only going to be 2. So, might take Friday off apart from, you know, for a second then I thought Goblin Slayer came out on a Friday. It does not. What am I talking about? Anyway, today we're going to be checking out the recently released Death Battle, and that is Master Roshi versus Jiraiya. And if you couldn't tell by the way I paused, I'm not a big Naruto fan. That's not because I dislike Naruto, quite the opposite. I actually think it looks really interesting, but I've never watched it. Not a single episode. Now, if you're a regular here, then you might be thinking, well, now there's a reaction series I'd like to see, and maybe one day, but it ain't going to be anytime soon. It's got lots of episodes, and I got plenty of other things to watch. So, I am obviously very much in Master Roshi's corner in terms of which one I want to win, because I know nothing about Jiraiya, apart from everything I learned about him on a Gaijin Gumba episode, which was about frogs and how related they are to the ninjas. So I actually know that Jiraiya is one of the most legit ninjas in Naruto, just like the Frog Sword is one of the most legit Zords in Power Rangers in the Ninja series. Same episode. And I've just sat through all of the talking, so I'm sorry if you guys wanted to see my reaction to the talking, but you wouldn't get much of a reaction because I'm listening to the talking. And I was really happy with the Master Roshi review. I feel like they acknowledged Dragon Ball Super, but they also were kind of very quick to be like, yeah, he was a bit of a badass in Super, but it doesn't really matter. Whereas Jiraiya, it felt like they went over the top in trying to scream it into your heads that this guy is stupidly powerful, even though in his series he's not that powerful. The second I saw that Sage mode, I pretty much mentally went, nah, Roshi ain't got this. Like, I don't know who would actually win because I don't know enough about Jiraiya in his own series, but the talking part of the Death Battle episode to me makes it seem like Death Battle very much believed that Jiraiya's got this in the bag. Now, in terms of damage output, I actually think Roshi can completely and utterly annihilate Jiraiya, but it looks to me like Jiraiya's going to have a speed advantage, and if it's going to come down to who can endure the attacks of the other more, but Jiraiya has some very, very powerful attacks when he goes into this Sage mode, and knowing what Death Battle normally does in their fights, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Roshi's going to start off winning. Maybe they'll be even to begin with, but Roshi will come out on top, and then just when it looks like Roshi is in no danger of losing this fight, Jiraiya will activate Sage mode and go absolutely mental, and Roshi will then eventually have a little bit of a comeback, but then it will come down to a big final move, and then it's going to be, whoever wins, that will be when it ends. But I personally think Jiraiya will take it, because I think what will happen is that Roshi will fire his Kamehameha wave, and it will look like Roshi's about to win, but then Jiraiya will use his ridiculous speed, because he is fast enough to catch a lightning bolt before the lightning bolt strikes, which is, what, 100 times faster than a bullet moves, which they took a point of telling us, which they also made a point of telling us that Roshi's speed at catching bullets, whilst good, I don't think is anywhere near the speed that they're saying Jiraiya can move. Now, I could be wrong. They might turn around and say that actually Roshi's the faster one, but that's not the impression I got. So I think Jiraiya will be able to move faster than the Kamehameha wave. Yeah, I don't know. My mouth does not want to say that word today for some reason. And at which point, I think he'll then appear behind him, unleash that spinning ball death thing attack that can wipe out towns. And that'll be the end of Roshi, whilst he's still trying to channel the attack because he won't be fast enough to react. However, I don't actually think that Roshi would get caught out with that attack. I actually think he's too smart for that, but obviously someone's got to lose. But I personally, after seeing the stats, I think Jiraiya will win, but I actually think that Roshi can win. As we saw in Dragon Ball Super, the anime, I'm not referencing the manga because they themselves said that the manga doesn't count where he had his Ultra Instinct. But in the Super series, he proved that A, he's way more durable than anyone's ever given him credit for. He's still training and getting more powerful, and more importantly, he eliminated many members of the other teams. He basically took on all the tricky opponents that weren't straight up power users. And he showed off his creativity, his intelligence, and the fact that he's still a very skilled martial artist when he fought that younger fighter. You know, he still has a lot of power in him. In his series, he might be one of the weaker fighters technically. But in any other series, I personally still think that Roshi is one of the most dangerous opponents anyone can face. Yes, the fact that he can't fly does mean he doesn't have as much of an advantage over lots of other opponents as like Goku and Vegeta, but he is still very powerful. So without further ado, I'm going to unpause the fight and we're going to see what happens next. So, it's time for a death battle. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh!
Who's this geezer?
Hey, fuzz for brains. Where are the pictures? It's just words in here.
I like the English voices.
Paint 1,000 beautiful pictures all by themselves.
Okay. Well, it's as good a reason as any to have them fight. I was really hoping that this fight...
Don't take it personally. Not like you wrote the damn thing.
But I did.
Oops. What? Okay. I was really hoping this fight would be 3D just because it's Roshi and I don't think he gets enough love. But I'm actually really digging this sprite style. It looks really cool. Oh. Oh, he's... Okay. There he's inside a toad.
You're stuck now, Baldy.
Oh? Really? He's busting this out a lot earlier than I thought he would. I was gonna say, that ain't enough to beat Roshi. There we go. I like the way he landed on his head there. Oh, okay. Well, just in a straight up fight, I don't think it's even close. Oh, and clearly they agree with me. Oh, damn, he is throwing out those Kamehameha waves. Oh, this is actually a really good fight. Even if he loses, I'm really happy with it so far. That panic sprite, that's really good. Oh! Of course, Roshi hasn't bulked up yet, so he could still get annoyed. Oh! This is the move that I thought would finish him. Oh! It's Kame House. What the heck? Oh, okay, I see. Oh! This will be the giant toad. Oh no, is it? Yes.
Jiraiya, you buffoon. What's this about? Hey there! Can you buy me some time? What? I'm not yours.
Oh yeah, here it comes. The time is being. Oh! Yes! Brilliant! Okay, so now Roshi's pissed. Uh-oh. Yeah. See, Roshi's pretty quick in and of its own right, but you're concentrating on the wrong thing. Mafuba! Okay, that's a pretty cool counter to the toad. Wait. He didn't transform into Sage Mode! Oh. Yes, he did.
I've been back on the beach the whole time.
Damn! Oh, wow. Okay, that was actually pretty smart. Here comes that Kamehameha wave, like I said. In terms of raw power, though, I don't know who's stronger. Oh, well, it looks like... No way. Oh, I really don't know who's going to win. Oh, wait. I think that seals it.
You old fool. I can't believe you fell for that. Let's end this.
Wait a minute. Oh! Yes! Well, I was right. Roshi was stronger. Even though I thought Jiraiya would win, but even so.
Jiraiya was certainly one of the most powerful.
Oh, I'm happy with that.
World, but there's no question that Roshi's sheer might outclassed.
Yes.
One guy can break a mountain, the other can break a moon.
Yes, pretty much.
Pretty obvious.
The speed comparison wasn't quite so clear-cut, though. While his unseen battle with Krillin was incredibly quick, Roshi's never personally shown speeds as fast as the lightning feats Jiraiya scaled to.
But he did hold his own in the tournament.
Oh!
Against planet and galaxy
So they did properly take that into account. Okay. Now see, if they said that in the beginning, I would have said that, yeah, that's definitely going with Roshi. But maybe that's why they didn't.
Scaled to Goku's progress, it makes sense that he'd be able to match Jiraiya's speed, and probably even surpass it.
Still, it would be reasonable to believe Jiraiya could use his tactical talent to outsmart and outlast Roshi.
Except Roshi's a smart fighter too.
Exactly.
Not only does he have way more experience thanks to his super age, but he's got an eye for traps in sticky situations.
Yep.
Like when he figured out the illusion powers of the talisman.
Okay, okay.
And remember, it took only 15 seconds for Roshi's Kamehameha to reach the moon. Given the moon's distance of over 200,000 miles from the surface of the Earth,
See,
this means the beam
I love the fact that they've kept all of these feats that they're now doing for Roshi at the end of the fight. It's almost like they knew that if they put these feats in, everybody would have figured out it was Jiraiya.
for very long.
Sure, Jiraiya might be a crafty ninja, but all that doesn't boil down to much more than tricks against someone like Roshi.
Yep.
Roshi was simply faster, stronger, and had way more experience.
And that's why Jiraiya croaked when Roshi beat him to the punch.
The winner is Master Roshi.
But couldn't end on a serious note.
If you want to see some exclusive commentary, make sure to click the box.
Right, so I guess it's time to find out who's going to be next then.
You can download it by clicking the link below.
Next time on Death Battle. Darkseid versus Thanos? Oh dear. Okay, might have to do a separate video on that, on who I think is going to win, because there's no way I can cover that in the end of another video. That's going to be a long one. So yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There was the death battle of Roshi versus Jiraiya, or Naruto versus Dragon Ball, as I have no doubt the Flame Wars and that video's comments are viewing it. And Dragon Ball 1, rightly so. Oh, I said it! Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I really enjoyed that fight. It actually surprised me how good it was. Sometimes, you know what? I always get slightly disappointed when the fight is 2D, even though all of the fights used to be 2D, and the 3D didn't come in until Goku versus Superman, a fight which we will not talk about. Ever since then, whenever they do a 3D fight, it's almost always really good. There's a couple of exceptions, but overall they're really good. But just lately, their 2D fights, man, they've been getting a lot better again. Like, they went through a stage where the 2D fights felt like, okay guys, this is the one that isn't going to be as popular, we're just going to throw out a 2D fight so that we can have a death battle this month, and the one that we actually want to do is next month, but our animator needs more time, so just, you know, do some stuff. Because, speaking as someone who used to do animation, 2D animation, when you're also not the person drawing the sprites, because a lot of the time they aren't, a lot of the time I know where the sprites came from. They've actually used sprites that came from spriters who created characters for Mugen, which is a basically build your own fighter game. And sometimes they use community sprites that are widely available, but the point I'm trying to make is if you're just using other people's sprites and animating them, that's actually not as hard as you think it is. Now, don't get me wrong. You cannot make a good fight by just simply slapping loads of sprites together. There's a lot more into it, especially the camera work. The camera work, I think, is the biggest improvement that the 2D fights have had. Plus, all of the effects and the sounds and, you know, all of the various different custom sprites that clearly do get made for these now, but they never used to. Like, I have no idea where those Roshi sprites came from, but they were really good. Some of them looked really smooth. I'm wondering if it's from like what was it? Is there one on like the 3DS or something? There's a Dragon Ball Fighter game that's like 2D. Maybe it came from that. I don't know. But anyway, I thought the way that they traded techniques was really good, but I love the fact that whenever they got up close, it was basically a case of over distance, Jiraiya had a massive advantage with his various different ninja techniques, and he could summon toads, he could manipulate the environments, but the second that they got close and he tried to do anything to Roshi close up, Roshi's, like they said, experience and his sheer toughness overpowered Jiraiya every single time. Now obviously, when he did the clone technique and create copies of himself, I was quite impressed that he'd spent that entire time fighting a copy, and the real one had been back on the beach, you know, trying to build his way up to his other form. And I didn't see that coming, even though if I'd been paying more attention to the amount of clones that he was fighting, I would have, because in retrospect, yeah, he only got rid of 3 and he summoned 4, I think. So I should have worked that out, but I was too busy enjoying the hype of seeing Roshi just whoop ass. Because we don't see that enough in Dragon Ball. I really enjoyed the episodes in Super and in the Frieza Revival arc where we got to see him remind everybody that he is Muten Roshi. And that, you know, once upon a time he was the most powerful fighter on Earth. And, you know, it's similar to Jiraiya. I think those two were a great matchup in terms of their lore. They both kind of held the same position in their respective series. So I was always excited for this, even though I didn't know much about Jiraiya. But now that I do know a lot about Jiraiya, if Roshi had lost, I wouldn't have been as annoyed, because I thought Jiraiya was a very powerful character. I thought he was really cool, and I really liked a lot of his attacks. And obviously, I thought that his parallels to Roshi and his counters to Roshi were really good, and they even said that, like I said, Jiraiya did have the ways that he could have killed Roshi, but it was very unlikely that he would be able to get any of them to land, or that he would be able to outright manipulate Roshi into the position. Obviously, at the end, it looked like he was going to pull out the win by using that soul technique, but because he did it whilst Roshi's body was already in movement, Jiraiya didn't fathom just how much power was flying at him at great speed, because Roshi is, you know, a freight train would have hurt him less if that had hit him at full pelt, because Roshi, especially when he's bulked up, is pretty hard hitting. As Goku found out when he fought him in Dragon Ball Super. Yes, Goku fought him in his base form, but he even said, damn, Roshi ain't no twig. He still has a lot of hurt when he punches you. So overall, I really enjoyed this death battle. Well done, lads. I think this might be one of my favourites from them for a while. But I've actually really enjoyed the last few. I haven't reacted to the last couple because Nightwing vs Daredevil was a live action one, and I didn't really see... I wasn't going to bother reacting to that. Mario vs Sonic wasn't one I was particularly interested in. I've never really understood why people want those two to fight each other. To me, it makes absolutely no sense, but whatever. Ultron vs Sigma, I would have done a reaction to, but I wanted to watch that while I was away, so I really enjoyed that one as well. And as I say, the 2D fight for Ultron vs Sigma was actually really cool, so I just think that lately Death Battle have really been bringing their A games, so yeah. I mean, oh man. Darkseid vs Thanos as their series finale. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm not even going to attempt to call that because there are so many variables. I mean, I know what my gut instinct... Okay. Gut instinct, Darkseid. But the picture they used showed Thanos with the Infinity Gems. If he has them, Darkseid might as well not bother showing up. And that's kind of the thing. Thanos is really powerful on his own, but Darkseid is stupidly powerful on his own. But if they're going to be counting into things like their respective armies, their different planets. I mean, these are leaders. They have ridiculous amounts of resources that they can throw at each other. And if it depends entirely how they're going to do this fight and what they're going to take into account. But like I say, I might have to grab DeeBeeGeek and maybe we'll do a video or a stream together where we talk about Darkseid versus Thanos, because I think that's going to be a very, very heated topic. I suspect that fans of the characters are going to instantly be calling it for the one that they like and not really be open to any kind of comeback. But the truth be told is, I actually don't know who's going to win that. So I very much would think that a debate could be very good on that subject. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this particular video. Thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to throw it a thumbs up. Leave comments down below letting me know what you think of this video. And as always, if you're new around here, feel free to check out some of my other videos. Click that subscribe button. Ring the bell to get notified. And we do have some reactions to previous death battles. I don't react to every death battle. I just react to ones that I personally think are going to be really good, or I personally think I'm going to really enjoy. Like I said, Ultron vs. Sigma was the exception because I wasn't here and I just really wanted to watch it. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. As always, I am Psycho Gold, and I will see you in my next video. Psycho Gold, out.